This video is showing us how to create interims using PowerTeacher Gradebook. And this will apply to all 4 quarters that we complete interims in the gradebook this year. So to start, you want to go ahead and go to PowerTeacher. So you can reach PowerTeacher by going 2 ways. One, some of you that have a computer that migrates can click on the star and you'll have a listing that says PWCS Gradebook. You want to click on that and it will take you to the page. Or go to KDES page and go to For Staff SMS and you will find this page right here, PowerTeacher Gradebook. To get started, you want to scroll down and find where it says Launch Gradebook. You will see a checkbox under Launch Gradebook or to the side and the left. Either way, you want to check it and then hit Launch Gradebook. As you're launching, if you get an error that says Java needs to install or needs to be connected, then you would need to stop and go ahead and install Java first, and then you can go back and run Gradebook. If you get any messages that say you need to run it, like this one, go ahead and run it. Or if you get a message that says there's a security error, it's an invalid site, to say go ahead, even though they say not to. When you click run, it will take another second and you will get a page where you need to make sure you select our school and type in your name. And there we go, it's coming. So you would select Carrydale. And it's kind of funny because it jumps ahead and then it goes back. So just be a little patient. And always check that and make sure it's Carrydale's, because sometimes it will change automatically without you doing anything. So you're going to type in your username and your password. And then you are going to get, you'll click on sign in, and then you'll get your page that looks like this. For today's training purposes, we are borrowing Mr. Service's book in read-only mode. So when I go to save or edit things, it's not going to save. However, in your book, it will save. So just wanted to let you know there's my disclaimer for our training session today. So when you get into your grade book, hopefully you've already been in there entering grades and those kinds of things. If not, you need to definitely start before interim time to get those grades in there. Like I said, today's training is only going to be focusing on interims. If you need more assistance in getting grades in, or how to get grades or categories set up or whatever, please email me and let me know. Or if you need assistance with interims as well, please let me know. So to start off, you're going to start over here in classes, and you are going to click on the arrow next to that first box, and you want to be on KDES 2015-16, because clicking this will show you all the areas you need to grade for interims and report cards, and that's what you want when you are completing interims. You might also, when you're in recess or lunch, you might get this: no grade scale has been assigned to this section, please contact your administrator. That's normal, because obviously we're not grading lunch and we're not grading recess, so that's okay. Don't panic. It doesn't mean that that's the way it is for the rest, because obviously reading and writing and everything is all fine. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to reporting term. You need to be, and this for right now, for your when you are entering assignments, you are in marking period 1. Well, now we need to move over to interims, because that's what we are entering in now. So we're going to go ahead and click on interim mark 1. And this is what assignments looks like, because they have different categories and different things. But to complete interims, you want to click on final grades. Okay. Whoops, there's one thing I forgot before we go any further. You want to, before you get started, click on tools and then click on preferences. Click on grading. And then you're going to change how you view your grades, so it's a lot cleaner. So you're going to come down here to final grade columns display in unchecked percent, unchecked points earned, and unchecked percent at the bottom. So the only 2 boxes left down in these 2 categories are letter grade. And that will help us, and then you'll click OK. And what that will do is, in this box, you will only see your letter grades. You won't see all this other stuff. Okay? Alright, so sorry about that distraction. We'll go back. So now we're back in, we're ready to enter grades, and we are all cleaned up in here. Again, Mr. Service's book is read only, so my change didn't take effect here. But once you click on final grades, you'll start seeing categories of classwork, and you'll see points over here. Just ignore the points. Don't worry about doing the math. Same with if you still see points over here, don't worry about any of that. Just let it go. You are doing this correctly. As long as you're putting letter grades in your assignments, then this is correct. So don't worry about that. When you come over to interims, we're going to be in writing today. We're going to interim mark 1 and final grades. So now we're ready to add grades. For all 5 core subjects, reading, writing, math, social studies, and science, the grade always goes right next to the name. Always. No matter what, no matter whether you're doing interims or report cards, the grade goes right here. Okay? No matter what. And so what you'll need to do is go to the first student, click in the column, you're going to right click in the column, and you're going to click fill scores. And in order to do this, you want to put a score, you're going to override what's here, and you're going to put a score that most reflects most of your kids. So for writing, I'm probably going to guess that it's going to be a CN for this time. During interim time, you have 2 grades to enter on the interim. It's either CN or NS. CN means continued work, NS means need support. For 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you need to enter CN for an A, B, or C grade, and enter a NS for a D or an F grade. And then, of course, you would clarify any of the grades for all subjects in the general comment area. Okay? So you're going to click to go ahead and override the grade. You want to click on the first box right here. And then you want to make sure manual override is clicked, because you are going to have to override whatever is here for all grades. Then you're going to click down here under grade. You're going to change whatever's in the box. And for this, we're going to do, for our purposes today, we are going to enter CN. And then you'll see, oops, I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Oh, I forgot to hit replace all. And so I need to make sure it's overridden. Change this to CN. There we go. Once you have overridden the grade, you will see the grade here, and then you will see the red circle with the exclamation point. You want to see that. That is a sign to you that you have overridden the grade. And for interims in reading, writing, math, social studies, and science, you have to override every one of those grades. So when you see that, that's correct. But, so this looks good, except what if somebody doesn't get a CN during the subject? So you can do 2 things. You can either right-click and pull up the score inspector, or you can double-click in the box and pull up the score inspector. And so for Angel, let's say he's not doing so hot, we need to change him to an NS because he needs some support. That's how we change them that fast. So you would hit close and then hit save if that was the only student you need to change on that screen. But let's say we need to change more. So you could just click in the box, and if you see the name changes with the student, and then you could change it again. Or you could also use these arrows right up here next to the name, and that moves the bar up and down. So let's say Jason needs a different grade, that's how we can do that. Okay? So CN or an S, are there has the grades. When you're done again, you hit close and you hit save, and that will save right there for you. When you are done making any changes for interims, then you need to verify your grades. So you need to click on this box right here, check this box, and click OK. On your screen, it will turn this box green. That's a sign to you and to the system that you have verified grades in your writing interim section. Okay? If you ever need to go make changes, however, you need to come back up here and uncheck this. Make the changes, save, and then go back and check it. So don't forget that stuff. When you have to make any changes, you have to unverify your grades first by unchecking the box. If you notice over here in final grades, there's no place for a comment. In interims, you cannot comment on each grade and each subject. You can only make one general comment, and we'll talk about that more when we get down there. But just keep in mind that for interims, all your comments go in the general comment section. Okay? So this is for writing. We would do the exact same thing for reading, writing, math, social studies, and science. Exactly the same process. That's exactly where we put them right next to the name. Moving down, we don't grade recess and lunch, so we can skip that. For parent-teacher conference, you have one grade, or 2 letters to pick, Y or N. Y for yes, N for no. For the first marking period, I would think you would all pick Y for yes, because all of you are going to have parent-teacher conferences in November, and so you're all going to have conferences with all of your students there. Going further in quarter 2, 3, and 4, this could change depending on your situation and on your kids, whether you want a conference with all your kids or just a couple or whatever. So I could see you defaulting this to N in the later quarters, and then changing, adding the Y as needed kind of thing. If you have any questions about this, please see your team leader or me, and we can clarify that. But that's usually what happens there. If you notice now, we also see a green column over here. Everything else, besides reading, writing, math, social studies, and science, will go in these green and blue colored columns over here. Nothing else goes here for any of our other categories. Only the core subject grades go here, okay? And that's a big difference for interims. You need to watch that because it kind of gets confusing. You won't see it if you're in assignments. You won't see that you need to add something here. That's why you always need to be in interim, mark 1, and final grades. So again, you can use the same exact thing like you've done before. I would fill it. Yes, we have no grade here, so we can leave that there. And there's my grades, and I would hit save. And that's all I need to do for the first quarter there. I'm going to undo that. Then same thing for speaking. Speaking grade goes right here. It's not a regular core subject, so it does not go in the middle there. And again, all of this gets a CN or an NS. Work habits. You are going to, this is going to be a change from the report card. You are not giving an overall work habit grade like you do on the report card. In this area, you must have a CN or NS in every row for every different breakdown of the work habits. Okay? So I would go this is what I would do. I would just fill them all with CN. Even though they're not all CN, don't worry, you can go back and change it. But I just fill them all because it's a lot faster. And I'm using the mouse to fill. Remember, you can use the arrows to flip through as well. So it's really up to you. Whatever's your easiest way to navigate your system is up to you. Thanks for bearing with me here. Okay, so now that I've defaulted everything, now I can go through. And this is where you can use your mouse and click on it and just type in NS. You don't need to capitalize and bold it. As you click off of it, it will change it for you. Or you can also use your arrows to change it. So can just scroll through. She needs the NS, maybe she needs the NS there, and you can just put NS as where you need to. I find that the arrows moving, if you default everything first and then use the arrows to move up and down on the keyboard, it's a lot faster to get this done. When you're done, you want to hit save, and then you can move on to work conduct. And the same deal, every column on this piece of paper needs to have a CN or an NS on the screen, not piece of paper. It needs to have a CN or an NS, and you are not for conduct. Again, you're not giving an overall grade for conduct like you will on the report card. You're giving an individual grade to each area of conduct. So same deal, NS, CN everything, and then go through and change it to CN or NS if you need to. Then you want to click save, and then you can verify your grades. Language arts you do not grade, has a whole, that's just there, has a divider for the report card. But general comment you do grade. And we look at general comment, again, if you are on assignments, you're not going to see where to put general comments. But general comments is not a core subject area, so they do not go here. They go right here. And so the easiest thing to do here, and remember, general comments have to have some personal comment. You can't just say so-and-so is having a great year or welcome to kindergarten. We need to be specific academic progress. It doesn't have to be a book, but it does have to say something about specific academic progress. So your easiest way to do this is to right-click and do your fill comment first. So the general comment you're putting in every student's report card if you want, saying, oh, so we're doing this in class, we're doing this, so we're working on this, this, and this. Don't forget your agendas. That can go here. So we can just say, now obviously years would be a lot better. So you would fill it, and it says student with no comments. So this is how you're going to fill it at first. You'll click OK, and then in every page, next to every student, they have a comment. That comment's in there. And then what you would do is you start back up at the top, and then you could go into Natalie's or whoever's comments you are and add Natalie's comment. And of course, yours would be a lot more specific and a lot better written than that one is. But you would do that, and then you can close out if you want, or if you can use the score. You can use the arrows up here and navigate to the next one. So then you could do Andres, and you would go ahead and add his comment in the beginning. I would add them in the beginning because that way it's much more personal for the parents and they are seeing that first. Special ed teachers and ESOL teachers and specialists will email you any comments. Special ed and ESOL teachers will email you comments about progress, and so you will copy and paste. You'll do your comment first, and then copy and paste their comment into this box as well. So, for example, let's say let's go back to Natalie's. So there's my comment, and you could even write Mr. Service, and then let's say we have another teacher's comment. You want to go ahead and make sure you separate the comments from each other. So just after your comment, just hit return one time. You don't need to do two because you don't have room for them. But hit one return, and then paste the next one. And then if you have a special ed comment, you can do that too. And then that way you would get all the comments in there as well. Okay. You also have 1,000 characters. So a lot of times when you have multiple teachers adding comments, watch how many characters you have because you might get close to those 1,000 characters. But that's what you have here, and it tells you right there. Okay? So you would hit close. All that's in Natalie's, or you would either hit close if you're done with Natalie and done with comments, or you could just use the score inspector again and scroll up and down to get to each child's comment and change that as needed. Then you'll hit save, you'll verify, and then you're done interims. So that's awesome. So you're done with that, and that's all you need to do in the system. This all needs to be done by the deadline that will be published soon. It will be sent out soon. So what's going to happen is interims end one day, and then you'll have about another 2 days after that to get your interims in the system like we just did today and complete it. Then there will be a due date. On that due date, you will have to wait until after an export time, and the export time will be published as well in this big long newsletter you'll get from me. You'll have to wait to the export time and then print. Any other changes needed after you do that first print always have to happen after an export time. So you will get the export schedule in the interim information, and you need to watch that schedule if you're making changes. You can't just go in and make changes in here and then go print your interims. You're going to print your interims from SMS, and more directions will be sent out later on that as well. But right now I can't print an interim for you because they're not there to show. There's nothing in there to show, so it won't print. But I will show you how to do that later. So just kind of keep that in mind. You really need to know the export times when you're making any changes. So how that works is that you will have a deadline from Kim. It will be the interims will be printed by you. You will also print a grading and reporting sheet and sign it. You will turn both of those in to Mrs. Burgess. Then your interims will be reviewed by myself and the admin team, or one or two or many of us, and then you will get your interims back. If you need changes, you'll go into the system, you'll make your changes, you'll wait till the next export time. After that export time, then you will print any of your changes. You don't need to print the whole thing. When you print, you'll pull up a PDF, and then you can go in and print only the pages you need because we don't want to waste paper. Then you will turn in all of your interims, the new ones that you corrected and the old ones that were correct, back into the office for review, and then those will be returned to you and you can send them home. If you get your interims back the first time and there's no changes, then you just need to make a copy of those and send those home on the interim send home date. For interims, there's not a report card folder that we use. You just send both copies home. One copy gets signed and returned to you, and one copy stays home with the parents. And then we will have copies of all the interims available on our OneDrive for you to print after all the changes are made and everything's done for interims for each quarter and for each report card. So that concludes the video today. I know this is a new format, so let me know what you think and how it went for you. After you have viewed this video, we'd like you to click on the link underneath the video in the email I sent you and complete a short quiz to verify that you have completed this activity. Thank you very much.